So I did make a video about all the films so far in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I originally uploaded it Thursday, April 26th, the day before Infinity War came out, but I took down the video because I didn't really like the way that it looked and it was very poorly edited. And after watching Infinity War, I looked back on some of the previous MCU films, and my opinions on them have altered a bit. So I took down my previous video, and I'm going to make a whole new video, but this video is also going to include my thoughts on where Infinity War is in terms of where I rank it and compare it to the other films. So, without further ado, here is my list of all the Marvel Cinematic Universe films out so far, ranked from worst to best, purely based on my opinion. Number 19. The Incredible Hulk. There is a reason why Edward Norton is not the Hulk anymore and was replaced by Mark Ruffalo. He really wasn't good at all in this film. He was slightly better than Eric Bana, who was unfortunately terrible in the unfortunately terrible Hulk movie from 2003, but Edward Norton was also not good. This film is really, really boring. I actually attempted to rewatch this film specifically for research for making this list, and I couldn't get even through half of it. This film is really boring and is probably the most forgettable film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Number 18. Thor: The Dark World. Despite the really low rating, I don't hate this film, it's just really boring. This film could have potentially been awesome, but unfortunately is, like I said, really boring, has a really weak, in terms of character development, villain, and the side characters like Darcy or whatever the names of the other side characters are all really underwhelming. Even Jane Foster herself, played by Natalie Portman, is a really weak and underdeveloped character. Thor: The Dark World is basically just boring. Number 17. Iron Man 2. Again, this is another MCU film that I don't hate. I do enjoy some parts of this movie, like at the end when Tony Stark and James Rhodes are fighting off against those drones that Ivan Vanko sent after everybody. Speaking of which, Ivan Vanko is one of many things that I do not like about this movie. They try to make him interesting by having his father be somebody that was fired by Tony Stark's dad, Howard Stark, but overall, he just isn't a compelling villain at all, and this movie is very underwhelming. Number 16. Thor. Thor's first film in the Marvel Universe is not terrible, but again, just like all the films I've mentioned so far, it is really underwhelming. There is a potentially really cool and compelling story involving Loki and how he's actually a frost giant, but not actually from Asgard. But again, just like with the second film, the legitimately emotional and good moments are bogged down by annoying side characters and all the Dutch angles. Seriously though, why are there so many Dutch angles in this movie? Couldn't the cameraman kept the camera straight? I don't know. Number 15. Captain America: The First Avenger. I'm sensing somewhat of a pattern with some of the earlier MCU films. Again, just like Thor's first film, Captain America's first film is somewhat underwhelming. It does have some entertaining and legitimately good moments, like Chris Evans' performance as Captain America and Hugo Weaving's performance as Red Skull, but overall, it is surprisingly forgettable, considering that it is a movie that is supposed to set up the first Avenger. Hell, at the end, there is an end credit scene that is literally a trailer for the first Avengers movie. So it is disappointing that this movie is so underwhelming, but it's not a bad one. Number 14. Iron Man 3. I actually really like this film. There are some slow and dumb moments for sure, but I really liked it. That is, until the third act, when they revealed that the Mandarin, who was awesome, was actually just an actor, and that the real Mandarin was the extremely stupid Aldrich Killian. I don't mean stupid as in brain stupid, I mean stupid as in he's a stupid character. This plot twist upsetted many, including me. In fact, this plot twist ruined the whole rest of the movie for me. Still, the first two halves of the movie are enjoyable. Number 13. Avengers Age of Ultron. The trailer for this movie was awesome, and it was a shame that the movie couldn't have been as awesome. Now, don't get me wrong, this is still a really good movie, and I enjoy watching it, especially when Hulk is fighting against Iron Man in the Hulkbuster armor. But there are so many more elements that could have been awesome that just weren't. Like Ultron. Ultron could have been really cool, but he just wasn't as cool as he could have been. Regardless, it is still a really good movie. Number 12. Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is a cliched film for sure, and is pretty much a beat for beat copy of the first Iron Man movie, but it is still enjoyable. It has really cool effects, great performances, and some very interesting ideas. Is it a rewatchable one? Personally, for me, no. But it is still a really good and enjoyable movie. Number 11. Ant-Man. Ant-Man surprised me. I thought it was going to be stupid, but it was actually okay. It was stupid, but it was also really enjoyable and a lot of fun. Paul Rudd is excellent as Scott Lang, aka Ant-Man. This movie was hilarious from start to finish, and it has some really cool effects.